Hello everyone! I know it's been a while since I've done a video, and there's a reason for that. We haven't been doing a lot of trips because we've been saving up for our trip to London. So we're finally doing it. We're doing a London-Paris trip. So it's our European adventure. We're gonna spend a few days in London, and then we're gonna spend a few days in Paris and a couple of days at Disneyland Paris. Because, you know us, we're Disney guys. So come and join us on our international adventure today. Here is the path that our plane will take. So it's going to start in Denver, and then it moves up through Nebraska, and then South Dakota, and then we cross up over through Minnesota, Ontario, and then that's Quebec. Then across, and we don't actually get covered by, what is that, Greenland? That's Greenland. And we don't go past Iceland either. That's up there. So we're just south of those, and then we go through Ireland, over Dublin, and then finally at London. There's our plane. We are traveling on British Airways, which neither of us have ever flown before. I definitely haven't. Josh may have. He spent a semester in London in the 90s, so he might have gone there on British Airways. I'll have to ask him, but I never have. So this will be a new experience for me. We are leaving Denver. We're at Denver International Airport. Today, stressing the international part of that. We're leaving here at 7:30 at night, our time. Maybe. It's very windy out right now, and so there could be delays, although it still says it's on time. And we're going to land in London 9 hours later at 11:30 a.m. their time, which would be 4:30 here. It is a straight shot out there. On our way back, we're leaving from Charles de Gaulle, and we have to transfer through Chicago, Midway, I think. Or is it Ordway? I don't remember. O'Hare, that's what it is. Sorry, my brain. Yeah, we're very excited about this trip, and I'll show you some video on board and when we get off, and maybe a little bit of the hotel. And after that, we'll be in London proper and enjoying our vacation, our long-awaited vacation to Europe. Something you may have noticed is that I am not wearing a mask, and I am here in the airport. Earlier this week, I wasn't expecting this, but earlier this week, a lot of the mask mandates dropped for airports and planes. So you can wear one if you want to, but they're not requiring it. And we briefly considered it. I still might wear one on the plane. Like here, I feel like I can still social distance pretty well. And even when we were standing in lines for food and at security, people were staying pretty far apart, which is awesome. That's one thing I hope that we take from this. Among other things, but one thing I hope we take from this is, you know, not having to queue up right behind somebody, just inches behind them. But yeah, so it feels weird. Like the last time we flew where we didn't have to wear a mask was in February of 2020. And then the next time we flew was in May of 2020, and we had to start wearing masks then, and it's been that way ever since. So it's weird. Especially since we weren't expecting it. It happened earlier this week, so okay, well, we'll see how it goes. But I may or may not wear a mask on the plane, see how I feel. Since it's an overnight flight, we plan to sleep most of the way. And once we get on the plane, probably about an hour later, they'll serve us some food. I actually haven't had a plane meal, like, you know, other than just snacks. Like I've had snacks and such, but I haven't had a meal on a plane probably since the 80s. When we would fly, and we didn't even fly that much. Like as an adult, I fly a lot because we, you know, go to Disney a lot, as you know from watching this channel. But I didn't fly much when I was a kid. It was a real special treat, and that was when they would serve meals, even if it was just, you know, a short domestic flight. That has since changed, and so usually we're not on any of those planes that provide it, but this one does, and we'll have it about an hour in, and then I'll probably take a sleeping pill because, again, if you've watched my channel, you know that I don't sleep that well on planes, and I really, really want to get some sleep since we're going to be on that plane for 9 hours. Whew, 9 hours. I can do it because the reward is an entirely new city on an entirely new continent. Well, I guess not completely new because I was born in Europe. My father was military. So it's not like I've never been there, but I was a baby. We left when I was 18 months old. I don't remember any of it. So this is what I really consider my first trip to Europe, because now I can remember it and actually do stuff. And Josh is excited because the last time he was there, as I mentioned, he was a student, and he was a starving student, right? So he was in London for a semester, and he did take a long weekend to go to Paris, but he didn't have a lot of money. He just was able to go do that. But we're not in that same situation. Now we can really, really enjoy our trip. And we've been saving up for this for a couple years now, because this is my 50th birthday trip. My 50th birthday is actually next month. The original plan was to go to Japan and have a bunch of friends come with us, but Japan hasn't really opened their borders. So the backup plan, boohoo us, right? The backup plan is to go to Europe, and that's where we are now. And I was telling Josh earlier that it feels like it's not real yet. We've been planning this for so long. Like our Disney trips, we usually plan a couple months in advance, 1 or 2 months. We don't have to wait too long for that to happen. And we know we're gonna go multiple times a year. But for this, we've been planning it for over a year now. So now that it's here, it doesn't feel real yet. It probably won't feel real until we actually get there and I step off the plane and I'm in an entirely new city. We are all the way in the back. And the reason why we did that is because we wanted to have a 2-seat row. So there is nobody next to me right here. And look at this space I have. So I have all this extra room because the airplane, gets thinner in the back, and so there's not enough room for an entire seat. But there's not, but it's not so close that it butts up to this seat. So I can't like lean against the window or anything, but that's okay because I can still see. The other awesome thing about a 2-seat row is that the row in front of us is a 3-seat row. So we have place, I can put my stuff here instead of down here, and that leaves my legs free. That way I can stretch out and not have my personal item in the way. And then I have, of course, all this extra storage down here to put my pillow and blanket. And there is my window. Here's a quick tour of the Onboard Entertainment. I probably won't be using this too much, but anyway, so you have different things to watch, music, maybe podcasts too, I'll look in a second. Games you can play. I guess you can chat with people on the plane, that's kind of cool. And then talks about the journey. Let's look at that one first. Wi-Fi. Let's do the map. That's okay. So it's not, the most lightning fast computer, but yeah, Okay, so that's cool. You can see that. Yeah, let's push that there. We can just kind of go out. Yeah, that's cool. And we can track our journey here, know how close we are. Let's get out of that. Yes, I'd like to exit. Ooh, arrivals and immigration. Or immigration, excuse me. That's cool, I'll have to read that later. Just so that I know what to do when we get there. And let's check out let's go with watch. See what they have right now. So we're traveling in April of 2022. Let's see what movies they have here. Oh, they have some Made in Britain. Wonder Women, that's cool. Let's see what the new releases are. Maybe there's something I haven't seen yet. Tom and Jerry, Venom, Blue Bayou, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Driven has it. Okay, Ghostbusters Afterlife, that's a good movie. Godzilla vs. Kong, I actually haven't watched that. Maybe I'll watch it. Last Night in Soho, I have that on my iPad. So there are some pretty good movies on here already. Oh, No Time to Die, Snake Eyes. All right, let's go back here. And we'll go to listen, just to kind of give a taste of what that is. Oh, audiobooks, radio, music, podcasts. That's cool. Let's check out the music. Yeah, this is really full-featured. Playlists, classical and opera. I don't know any of these people. I got old and I stopped listening to anything popular music, and maybe this isn't. I just don't know anybody. Anyway, lots of different albums on here, which is pretty cool. There's also a USB charger here, and you have, it's touchscreen obviously because you saw I was doing that, but down here there's actually a remote control that kind of pops off. It's connected so you can't pull it too far, but there's a keypad on the back, there's a gaming buttons and a joystick, and then over here is just a way to be able to control it without having to use the touchpad if you don't want to. And I think these like green, red, and blue and yellow might also be control panels, or excuse me, control paddles for games. I'm popping that back in. I love having USB. There's also underneath the seat, I can't really show it to you, is a power, so we can plug something in to that as well. And then you have your table that pops down. It starts out little like this if you want it, or otherwise you can pop it open for a bigger one, hey, there's my grammar, right? A bigger one if you need it too. But we're gonna take off soon, so I can't have that down. Can't get that back in. There we go, with the help of Josh. Anyway, yeah, the entertainment's pretty good here. I forgot to film this, but they came by and gave us some pretzels and a drink. I just got orange juice, but you could get alcohol. It's an international flight, so they were handing that out to people, but I didn't really want any. And some pretzels. These were delicious pretzels. They were what, sour cream and chive pretzels. Amazing. We haven't heard anything about dinner yet, but I expect to hear about that soon. Dinner has arrived. All right, so we have a bottle of water, still water, and a chocolate mousse for dessert. That looks good. And some kind of like, I don't know, lentil salad, I guess? Lots of beans. There's edamame. Not really sure what that is in there. Looks good. I haven't tried anything yet. And then all they had was chicken left. I'm not sure what the other option was, but that's fine. Chicken was what I would have ordered anyway. Looks like it comes with some kind of couscous. Anyway, we're going to try this and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, so we ate our dinner and we both agreed that it was delicious. It really was. It was like a barbecue chicken with, I didn't know what sauce was when we first looked at it, but it's definitely a barbecue. So barbecue chicken and some kind of couscous salad. And then the other like lentil salad or something was very good. Everything seemed very fresh. Well, the salad seemed very fresh. And then of course the chocolate mousse was delicious because chocolate mousse is delicious. But yeah, it was overall a really good meal. It's about an hour before we land, and they brought us another meal. It has non-fat yogurt and this is a little turkey sandwich. They also had a cheese and tomato, but I went for the turkey, and then another water, and then utensils. The breakfast was very good too. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was good. The sandwich was really good. The bread that it was on, it was like a little croissant, was very tasty. And the yogurt was, man, it's yogurt. It was good though. But yeah, every meal we've had on this plane has been good. That's awesome. Not too bad. We made it. Here we are in London Heathrow. Oh, wow. Actually, the colors of the signs and everything look just like a New York airport. It's interesting. It doesn't feel like we're any place foreign to us yet, but I'm sure that'll all change soon once we get out of here. Just gotta figure out where to go and do our passport stuff. Get out into the city. If you're coming from the United States, then passport control is real easy, or border control is real easy. They have these electronic booths. You insert your passport. It takes a picture of you to make sure it's you, and then you just go through. We didn't even have to talk to anybody. So now we just need to get to the underground so we can get to our hotel. Now we gotta figure out where that is. Whew, we made it to the London Underground. Lots of walking and elevators and escalators, but we're here. Now we're just waiting for our train to show up. We're on the Piccadilly line. We have to go to Earl's Court. But one thing I never even considered is that subways smell alike. The New York subway, I remember what that smells like, and this smells the same. The city smells different, but the subway smells the same. Interesting. Something, like I said, I never really thought about it before, but now we'll have to see if the Paris metro smells the same when we get there in a few days. Here's where we'll be staying while we were in London, at the Hotel Indigo. I just found it on Orbitz. It had good reviews and it was in the right area, so we chose it. It's a nice neighborhood too. There's like a little garden over there. I don't know if it's public or not. Then buildings, all the cars, and then down this way is the Blackbird, which also has hotel rooms, but it's a kind of a pub too. And they have a breakfast that's only $8. Well, £8, excuse me. We'll probably try it at some point. But now we're gonna go check in so we can drop all our junk off. So one thing to know about hotel rooms in Europe is that they're smaller than your usual hotel rooms in like in America. And I think our hotel room in Paris is even smaller than this. But so there's the front door where we came into the room, and then they have a little desk, and they have a TV over here, flat screen, and they have this over here where it looks like you can plug in your own like HDMI or USB or whatever, and it will probably go to the TV, the phone, and some pictures. We have a window over here. We have a queen bed, which is unusual actually. It's so hard to find queen bedrooms. It's usually double for everything. And then there is a wardrobe here, I like this color. And there's a robe, ironing, some slippers, the safe, and there's a kettle with tea and like instant coffee. Actual glassware, yeah. Safe is cool. Oh, it talks about how to set it. And then he said anything in the refrigerator is complimentary. So a couple sodas and some water. And then I haven't actually checked out the bathroom yet. So, oh yeah. You know, one thing I've noticed in a lot of pictures of hotels, they don't have doors that close all the way. So the shower is just, you know, like half a piece of glass here. And then of course the toilet paper, sink. Looks like it's all activated by motion sensor. Maybe. Yeah, I'll figure it. Oh, maybe not. No, that is not a motion sensor. You have to move it. I thought this here was a sensor, but it's actually just a hole. And the same kind of color green. And a rainfall shower head. Oh, those are my favorite. Because I'm not the tallest person in the world. I'm 6 foot. But there are people taller than me. But sometimes I've gone to hotels and the sprayer is right at my chest level. So anyway, and here's our hotel that we'll be staying in for the next 3 nights. This looks pretty good. Since we've been on a plane overnight and slept, we are probably going to take showers and then just freshen up and change clothes before we head out again. We want to go get something to eat. We're probably going to head to, what was it, Borough Market? Borough Market, which is kind of a big outdoor market. Well, it's kind of outdoor-indoor market to get some lunch. And then we have a London Eye
5:30.
appointment at 5:30, or reservation at 5:30, so we can get on the giant London Ferris wheel. Some very iconic buses going by. You can tell you're in London when you see the double deckers. The station we just got out of is called Monument, and essentially, yeah, there's people up there. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, this is the one where I think you get the little certificate that says that you did it. If you do it. It might cost.
It does. I'm pretty sure.
So, but we're on a mission right now. And so we're not gonna stop here today. We bought the London City Pass, which essentially is you pay one price and then you can use it to go to a lot of different attractions or museums It's I think it was 85 different attractions you can do. Now we can't possibly do all of those, but you know, if you do enough, then it's cheaper than doing them all individually. So we did that, but we only have it for 2 days, which doesn't include today. So we're here for half a day today. We flew in this morning, and then tomorrow and Monday we'll be here for 2 full days, and that's when we're going to be doing the passes. And then on Tuesday we go to Paris. So I think Monument is one of the things you can do on the pass, so we're going to do it some other day if we do it at all. To get to where we're going, we have to walk across London Bridge. So this is London Bridge here. It's not that over there. Like a lot of people think that is London Bridge. No, that's called Tower Bridge. And oh, it's up right now, which is kind of cool. I wonder if that cruise ship just came in or left. Anyway, oh, there's like a battle cruiser over there too. Anyway, that's Tower Bridge, not London Bridge. We're walking across London Bridge now, but it's very, you know, boring compared to that other one. It's just a plain old unremarkable bridge, but this gets us to where we need to go. So that's what we're doing. But one thing Josh and I were noticing was how many languages we've already heard being spoken, because just like when we're in New York, like on the train on the way to our hotel, we heard people speaking German. There were some Australians. There's a woman speaking some kind of Indian language. I know Indian is not a language in and of itself. There's multiple kinds of languages. I don't know which one she was speaking, but it was Indian subcontinent. And I just love rivers. We don't have these in, I mean, we have rivers, but they're really small.
Yeah, they're not this.
They're not like this, where you have, yep. Yeah, man, London, or Tower Bridge, I can't wait to go over there. We're gonna do that. The city pass allows you to go to the top level and walk across, which we're gonna do tomorrow or the next day. So here's Borough Market, which is just kind of a daily market. There are restaurants, we're walking by some right now. There's lots of different kinds of street foods, places to sit. We watched a number of videos on it. I didn't take any notes though, so I'm not even sure what I want to eat, but we'll look around and see what jumps out at us. And get something. Drunk cheeses. I like cheese. Some over here smells good. Eclairs. Yeah, it's kind of like a farmer's market is what it looks like. Cold pressed ginger shot.
And many others.
Oh yeah, there's that entrance we would have come down. Ice cream. Ooh, burgers. Ooh, burger. Pastries and cakes, sweets.
Slice? What's a peach slice?
Smoothies. Colombian Coffee Company. Oh, I remember seeing them in someone's video. Yeah, this is pretty neat. Okay, we're gonna try to find something to eat. We decided to go for some cheese, raclette, which is just like heated up cheese put over potatoes, which he's doing right there. See, they heat up the cheese and then those slide it onto the potatoes that he smashed there. And then Josh is gonna get a toasted cheese sandwich there. And we're gonna split those. Oh man, I love raclette cheese. The only time I've ever had this was at Disney during one of the festivals. They'll have this, and but I've never had it in the wild. I'm looking forward to it because I was watching him make it, and it looks amazing. Oh my goodness! Look at that cheese. It just comes right off. Oh my god. That's incredible. We also got the toasty, which is essentially a grilled cheese. It has 3 kinds of cheese, onions and leeks in it, and it's delicious. You can see I've already been eating in it. And Josh is getting into the raclette there with the tomato or potatoes. Excuse me. It comes with like mini pickles too, and 1 cocktail onion. Oh yeah, look at that. We decided to stop by the Colombian Coffee Company to get some warm drinks because it is cooling down a little now. The sun is behind clouds. There's your price list right there. I got a chai tea and Josh got the flat white. We're just waiting for them to be made. One thing I love is with the market, there's a train right above us. I don't know if you can hear that. So this is all, you know, sort of modern stuff. And then if you look over here though, bam, hundreds-year-old church. I don't know how many hundreds of years, I'm not sure which church that is, but it's definitely not a recent construction. Yeah, the old and new in this city is so amazing, the way it all mixes together. Done with Borough Market, and our food was delicious. I'm glad for our first meal in London that wasn't on a plane. It was very good. Cheese and potatoes and a cheese sandwich. Oh, so good. Usually I'm a meat person, right? Like, it's rare for me not to have a meal that doesn't have some kind of meat in it. But oh, so good. And those potatoes were great. The pickles were so good with it. And the sandwich was great with the leeks and the, yeah. Maybe a little salty, but I think that kind of cheese is just kind of salty. We got those coffees. Josh enjoyed his, but he's currently drinking my chai. It was just very weak. And I don't like things that are only slightly flavored, like LaCroix, those kinds of things. I don't like that. I want something to have flavor, which is fine. Josh will finish it. So now we're walking to the London Eye. We have an appointment or a reservation, just about an hour. It won't take us that long to get there, but we will just kind of check the area out, see what there is to do, and maybe stop in some places in the meantime, like maybe this little shop here, so I can actually get a soda, because I did not sleep well on the plane, so I am very tired and I would like some caffeine. So we're gonna pop in here. On our way to the London Eye, we're walking along the Queen's Walk, which is along the river here, and I thought I'd show you. So we think that's St. Paul's Cathedral over there, that building, which we will probably visit on Monday, because they don't allow visitors on Sundays because they probably have services. Otherwise, just river. And a happy puppy down there running along. Lots of different boats. Oh, a police boat. I mentioned this before, but it's incredible to me, the mix between old St. Paul's Cathedral and then modern skyscraper buildings over there. It's incredible. It absolutely is. I love river walks. We just have to keep heading that way a little more to get to the Eye. But walking along the river, very nice. You can see it's windy. Check out that gull there. Just trying to get lift off, and he's just hanging. It's very windy right now, if you can't tell from the wind that's probably coming into the phone camera. It finally came into view. The London Eye up there. Very Ferris wheel-like. We bought our tickets a couple weeks ago. You set a time to show up, and we're approaching that time now, although we're not there quite yet. And they have these cool bridges over here too. I just looked up the name of them. I don't remember what they are now, but they weren't anything I knew before. But yeah, it's pretty. And,
Nice view. You're in the South Bank?
yeah, north would be across from us, right? It's got to be the South Bank. Yeah, this is so cool. Oh, look, there's a city cruise going there. If people, that looks like a tourist cruise right there. Yep. As part of our city pass, we can do a cruise, and we can do the hop-on, hop-on bus, hop-on, hop-off bus. We're probably going to do both of them at some point. Not sure when, but not today, because the pass doesn't kick in until tomorrow. Pretty neat. Look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament. We plan to get closer to there next couple of days, but there it is. Wow. You know, you hear about these things all your life, you see it in movies, you see it in pictures, but to actually stand here and witness it is incredible. Wow. It's like a dream come true, right? When you finally see something that you knew existed, but you never thought you'd see. I was the same way with the Statue of Liberty. Like, I never thought I'd see that. I never thought I'd be a person that traveled around, and you know, that was when I was living paycheck to paycheck many years ago. But now we are in a position where we can travel and do stuff. I mean, yeah, we have to save up for it. We can't just do it every time we want to. Disney trips notwithstanding, because usually those are not nearly as expensive as you might think, but something like this, oh, never thought I'd see it, and here I am. It's an amazing feeling. I hope you get to experience, if you haven't already, the feeling of seeing Big Ben in Parliament. Near the London Eye, they have a carousel. £3 per person. And yeah, that's fun. I like carousels. I always have. And they're just these ones are very pretty and colorful too. Very excited about Big Ben the way that it is right now because it had been under scaffolding for a long time. We weren't sure if it was going to be, I mean, you can see scaffolding at the bottom of it. We weren't sure if it was going to be completely gone when we came here. And it is. I'm sure we probably could have done some research, but we just knew that it was being worked on. But yeah, doesn't it look gorgeous? Yeah, it's been redone recently, and so it looks very nice. Here we are on the London Eye, and you're not on it by yourself. There are many other people on this, but yeah, they're all like pods. You can see the one in front there, and it's about a 30-minute ride, I think is what they said. So by the time you go all the way around once, it's about 30 minutes. But, oh, there's a train going across that bridge. That's cool. Yeah, you know, when your city is built around a river, you gotta have bridges to get across. There's a thing over there called the Pub on the Thames. Or Thames, I'm sorry, not Thames, Thames. I'm gonna get that right, damn it. That's cool. They have these signs to help orient you, like this way is east. So if we look this way, there's quite a bit of city over that way. And if you just kind of go around like this, you'll see more. You also see how busy the place is. And then back to where we started. Yeah, that's just the view here. We're almost to the top. We're like second or third from the top right now.
Oh yeah, and it was
Great view of Big Ben in Parliament from up high. We're at the highest point now. There's a different view down the other side of the river. Big Ben right there for Parliament. We decided to pick up some chips at a fish and chip place that was right here next to the London Eye. Neither of us are big fish fans, but they also do have like breaded chicken too, but we didn't really want a ton of stuff. We just wanted some chips. And we got salt and malt vinegar on it. It was £3.50 for all of this, which doesn't seem that bad to me, but I am really bad about the conversion rate, so maybe it's really expensive.
$4.25, $4.50.
Okay,
No,
like
more than
$5.
But still not
Anyway,
bad.
it's
Like
good.
$5.
They're fresh and covered in vinegar. Love it. One thing I wanted to comment on is how many places we've gone to buy something, and it's only cards, no cash whatsoever. Like, we were able to use cash to buy the chips, But that was the first place we've gone to today where we actually bought something where we could use cash. Everything else has been card only. I'm not sure why, but I mean, it's fine with me because it's real easy. I can just tap with my Apple Watch and pay for things and not worry about the, you know, having cash or foreign money when I'm done with the trip. Although we did get some out so that we did have cash just in case, but turns out we may not really need it. I know I've done a ton of Big Ben in Parliament already, but we decided to go across the bridge and be at ground level so we could get a closer look at it. I'm not sure we'll be back in this area for the rest of the trip. We might be. Not everything is planned out exactly, but oh, that is amazing. I always thought Ben was taller. Like, it surprises me. It seems kind of like short and squat as opposed to really tall and thin, which is what I, for some reason, have been expecting. But it is not. I mean, it's still tall, but I thought it was going to be really, really tall. Nice Churchill statue. From a distance, that looked like the kingpin, right? Because it's got this sort of giant, imposing manner. But no, Churchill, you can see it in the face. Definitely. We are likely coming back to this on Monday, but there is Westminster Abbey, which is really close to Big Ben in Parliament right there. Westminster Abbey. And you can just barely see the rose window through that tree there. Anyway, I'll have more images of this in my video from the third day here, but I wanted to show you the exterior while we're walking by it right now. Yes, they do exist. Not the blue ones like in Doctor Who, but the red ones. And not surprisingly, it's just a repository for crap that people like to put in there. Anyway, you could come in here and make a phone call if you needed to. Over there is the Churchill War Rooms. It's a kind of an underground bunker area where Churchill spent a lot of time during World War II planning the defense, since it was somewhat defensible even to bombing. I don't think we're going to do that while we're here. It is something that is part of our London City Pass if we wanted to do it, but there are other things we want to prioritize. But there it is over there. And I mean, I do like history stuff, so I'm sure I would enjoy it if we went, so maybe we'll make time for it. I guess we'll see. We're on our way to Harrods department store, which we haven't reached yet, obviously. This is not the store. This is St. James's Park. We just happened to be walking along and we saw it, and it's in the same direction that we're walking, so we thought we'd walk through the park rather than through the streets. But yeah, because we love to walk through parks. But yeah, there's all the ducks and goose, duck, goose, and pigeons. Lots of pigeons here. It's like New York in that respect. And yeah, so check out this park. So that was the nice little fountain they have over there. But you have some people playing soccer in the background. There's Josh. And yeah, it's just a real nice park to come sit, look at the water, have a nice walk, kick a ball around. Somebody's over there with their dog. This would be a great place to bring your dog. One of the reasons we chose this route rather than taking the subway is because this walks us past Buckingham Palace, which is right over there. And you can see all the people standing out front. But they also have the Victoria Memorial, I think is what that is. And then they have some beautiful flower gardens over here. Visiting here in the spring is awesome. Look at all those tulips. Beautiful. It's amazing. And I don't think you're supposed to go in there because they're like they're little small fences and stuff, but there's no opening, so I don't think you're supposed to go in there, ladies. But I'm not the police, so. But yeah, I just love it. And you can see the gardens continue kind of around over there. Let's get closer to the palace. they're doing work on the statue. You can see the scaffolding there. But I know you can't smell this through the phone, or excuse me, the image, but it is, I use my phone, that's why I say that. It is very fragrant, that tulip smell. Here we are closer to the palace, and there's a palace guard over there. There's also some cops over there. Not sure if it's gonna focus because I'm getting the bars instead of the people. There we go. So there's some regular cops too. But yeah, the palace guards are pretty neat. One over there. Sorry about the focus. I'm trying to do this through bars. There's one over there too on the other side. Wow, just standing there all day. It's gotta be rough on your back and your feet. One thing that Josh and I have noticed being here is that if you overhear a conversation, it's almost never in English. We've heard so many different languages while we've been here. And if it is in English, it's not necessarily just like, you know, British English. We've, you know, heard Australians talking and Germans talking, but in English, although they were also talking German. So it's very much like New York in that respect, where not everybody is going to be speaking English. And here it seems like less and less people are. And maybe that's because we're hanging out in the tourist areas. Maybe it's obviously different if you go to the places that are more residential. But at least that's what our guess is. But I mean, that's kind of what happens when you know, England went out in the world and conquered a whole bunch of countries, and then, well, those people became citizens, and then they came back to England, and now there's so many communities here because of that. And there it is, Harrods. We finally made it. Pretty much walking all the way here, which is fine, because now we need to go in and look for a belt at least, and maybe something else. Anyway, Harrods is a lot like Macy's in New York, where it takes up like an entire block. So all of that is Harrods there, and all of that is Harrods down there for the block. And I'd heard there was a dress code, but I don't think they enforce it. And I think it's more of a casual one, like you just can't come in like flip-flops or, but you know, torn jeans or that kind of thing. But I'm not sure how much they enforce that. Okay, so Harrods, yeah, everything was super expensive. I mean, we didn't look at every single thing, but we decided that if I went to look for a belt there, it'd probably be 600 pounds. So we decided not to. And I'll give you an example. We were in the menswear area, and there's like a rack with some shirts on it. One of the shirts had a picture of Batman on it. It was a nice shirt. It was a white shirt with a picture of Batman on it. It was like 676 pounds. That's crazy for a t-shirt. It was a t-shirt. Anyway, when you looked around, like, I mean, it's, at least the areas we were in were really fancy. Maybe there's some other, you know, discount area that we don't know about, but I don't think that there is. So we decided to move on. We went to a Boots, which is like a Walgreens or you know, it's like a drugstore. Although here things are separated out. I don't know if it's the same in England, but we'd heard like in Paris, for example, you couldn't get like painkillers at a drugstore. You'd have to go to like a pharmacy to get that. So there's a separation there. Anyway, so now we're moving on. We're walking back towards our hotel. We're gonna get some food along the way. It is 8:28 right now, and yeah, it's we lost a bunch of time coming here. So, and I'm not as tired as I should be, considering I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep. But I feel like once my head hits the pillow, I'll be out. Anyway, we're looking for something to eat along the way, and neither of us are super hungry, but we have English, traditional English afternoon tea. Even though we're having it for breakfast tomorrow, it's afternoon tea at 10 a.m. But we have to have something now, otherwise we're not going to be able to wait until 10 a.m. Anyway, we're going to look around and see what we can find to eat. Whew, that is going to do it for us today. I just checked my phone. We walked 9.2 miles today. I mean, that's like walking around the airport and getting to the tube. We kind of realized that we took the underground. Once we got to the room and showered and stuff, we took the underground to Monument, and that's where we kind of started our touristy stuff. And then which took a little while on the tube to get there. And then ultimately, over time, we just walked all the way back to the hotel because there's so much to do and see when you're just walking around the city. We do the same thing in New York when we're there. We just, rather than taking the subway sometimes, we're like, oh, it's only 50 blocks. Let's go walk it because there's so much interesting to look at. But before I leave you today, I kind of wanted to show you the money. Because sometimes when I'm looking at a video with somebody in another country, I'm like, tell me more about the money and what they have over there. So before we left, we got $100 in pounds.
No, 100 pounds actually.
We got 100 pounds, which cost us like, I think it was like $140 at the time. And then we also got $100 in euros, or 100 euros, and that was just like a little bit over 100 because the conversion rate is better there. So we have local money with us, and we're trying to spend it. We specifically got cash because tomorrow night we're doing a Jack the Ripper walking tour, and it's free, but you they expect a tip. I mean, you don't have to tip them, but of course we're going to tip them. And so we needed to have cash on us. We thought, well, it's better to have some cash anyway. And it's funny because as you watched in this video earlier, most places weren't taking cash; they were only taking cards, which is unusual. Like we thought we would run into places where they only took cash, and that's why we wanted to have some on us.
Like the Borough Market,
but it turned out to be the opposite of that. But yeah, exactly. Josh mentioned when we were at the Borough Market, it's like a lot of local little places, and we thought, okay, they're probably only going to take cash. Let's make sure we have some on us. But it was the reverse. Almost every place was like, cards or cash and cards. But the food where we ate our food, only cards. And where we bought our souvenirs earlier today, only cards. And so let me show you the money that we got. So we started out with like bills, and we used them, and now we have some change. Well, I mean, we still do have some bills, but we also have change, and I wanted to show you the different changes. Oh, Josh is getting some bills too. So I'll show you all this. So here's a 10, and it's so different than American money because American money's cloth, right? It's a type of cloth, whereas this is very plasticky, and it feels plastic. Like it feels fake, even though it's not. And that has Jane Austen on, I think the 10 does.
Yeah.
Isn't that Jane Austen? And then Winston Churchill's on the 5. And
transparent sections.
Yep. What's on the back?
That's the Queen on the back. Queen's
Yeah, we
always
got
on the back.
Got the Queen on the back.
Queen's always on the back.
Yeah, and this is her picture from, we were watching somebody talk about these, and I think it was like when she was like 59 or something, and now, of course, she's in her 90s, so the picture is not recent. So those are the bills. Then we got some coins here. One you don't see here, because we ended up using it to get more change, but they have a 2 quid or 2 pound coin, which it was funny to me because it was actually small. Like you would think something worth 2 pounds would be bigger, but no, it was actually kind of smaller. It was a smaller coin that was like silver in the middle and like goldish on the outside. I mean, not real gold, obviously. It's essentially like this, but bigger, 2 different kinds of colored metal. So
that was new to me because they did not have a 2 pound note, 2 pound coin 29 years ago. They had the 1 pound. And so that was very normal. This is slightly...
So which one is that?
This is the 1 pound one. It actually has slight angles to it. It's hard to see this unless you're actually feeling it, but it actually is not round. It's actually
you can
angular.
see there are sides.
Yeah,
they're very smooth sides, but they are sides.
And the idea, especially with British coins, is that you can reach into your pocket and just by touch know what coin you're grabbing.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that with American coins too.
It's really
But
easy
one thing I don't think I didn't point out when we had the 2 bills out is they are different sizes. So
Correct.
technically you could reach into your wallet
and
or purse
harder,
and tell
yeah,
the difference between the
bigger
two
for bigger
because
denominations.
it's a different size. But anyway.
But this one, it actually has ridges around it, and actually it alternates ridge smooth.
Huh. Okay, so that's the 1 pound.
That's the 1 pound. And what's interesting is we noted this about this too. The Queen is facing the same direction in each and every one of these. And when the next ruler takes over, be it Charles or whomever, he will be facing the other direction, which I think is very interesting to note.
Oh, yeah.
So that's always happens. They always alternate. So
not that they've had to for a long time because this
Right.
Queen has been around for a while.
This is the 50 pence.
50 pence.
This was actually one of my favorites, even when I lived here, because it's that perfect size. And I learned back then, I'm not good at it now, but I actually learned how like roll it over my fingers.
Okay,
And
what's
so one side is the queen, and the other side is, I don't really know what that actually is. I gotta admit, I'm not sure.
It looks like Minerva, right? She's got bubo, and it looks like...
yeah,
it looks
bubo,
like...
Or is that actually a plant in her hand?
Oh, I don't know.
That's the thing, I'm not sure.
It's really hard to tell. I mean, I'm sure you could look it up. But anyway.
And so that's the 50 pence.
And then that is...
And then this is the 20 pence. I actually have these in order of what they're worth.
Okay, so that's 20.
This one, again, the queen on one side. On the other side, I think we have like a rose or some sort of a flower. I honestly do not know. We may have to look this up and
it's
redo
hard to
this.
tell. It's a little faded. This one looks a lot
This
newer.
is a 10 pence.
Okay, so 20 to 10.
20 to 10. They
That's
don't
so
have
funny because like our dimes are kind of like that.
They don't have a quarter. They go to 20 pence and then they go to 10. This is their 5 pence. This little tiny thing. Queen on one side and a picture of like, I think this is like parts of the flags with like the dragon on it from the different parts of Great Britain.
Okay.
And you see there's some here too. Like there's actually some there, and then there's more. We'd heard about how they could like combine to make things.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like if you with the coins.
Site.
Yeah, I saw somebody's site like this here. See, there's almost like a shield of a corn. It's a shield, and this is like the middle part.
Yeah.
And there would be another part of it here. I don't think we could do it with the coins that we have, but the newer coins, you can combine together into an image on the back.
And so,
and then which ones are those?
10, 5. This is a tuppence,
so
which is
two
a 2
pennies or 2 pence.
And on the back is, it almost looks like a fleur de lis. It's not a fleur de lis, but it's something similar to that.
It's got the kind of style.
The
then
1
the
pence.
1 pence.
The 1 penny,
which is probably just as I was like just as worthwhile as the pennies in America.
Yeah, and
so when you come here, you have all these different kinds. They have so many more coins than we do. Like we're used to having the penny, nickel, dime, quarter, and sure, there are 50-cent pieces and there's Sacagawea dollars, but
these are regularly
they're rare.
used.
Yeah, these ones are available. We were putting money.
One.
We did a lot of self-checkouts. That's another thing I noticed here is there's a lot of self-checkouts in places. And so we were just putting in the cash so that we could get some different coins. And these are the ones that came out. They were in regular use all the time. So, I mean, heck, like I said, for us, there's usually, in America, there's usually
penny,
like 4
nickel,
coins.
Dime, quarter.
And there are others
but
that
those
exist.
are the regular usage.
But those are the ones you're going to probably get more often than not.
Amount because there's still a 2-pound one. So they actually have 8 coins in regular usage. And like I said, you can reach into your pocket and you know exactly which one's which.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So thank you for joining us today. Well, yeah, this is just day 1. It was only really a half day and traveling. Tomorrow will be a full day, starting with an English afternoon tea, which is breakfast for us. But thanks for joining us. It's nice to have you here. And look for my next video soon.